Well, COVID quarantine has been an extraordinary productive period for President Joe Biden. And I'm not kidding around. I mean, think back to when Donald Trump had COVID and he was stuck in a hospital, at one point receiving supplemental oxygen, sending lie-laced tweets at the time, going out and exposing his Secret Service detail to COVID when he made them drive him around the block in his SUV. I mean, just a pathetically, globally humiliating COVID period for Donald Trump. We can't even really call it COVID quarantine because he wasn't properly isolating. Joe Biden, on the other hand, we already knew had overseen and authorized the killing of al-Qaeda terrorist Ayman al-Zawahiri. Legitimate questions about the legal framework for these killings. You know, I'm right there with you, but an accomplishment by international standards. An extraordinarily strong jobs report late last week, which we will get to later. But the big news, and gas prices declining 54 days in a row. And I'm kind of kidding because, as you know, I don't actually think presidents have much to do with gas prices, but by their standards, another accomplishment. And now the really, really big news over the weekend, the Senate approving a bill to fight climate change and cut drug costs. Not insulin, unfortunately, thanks to Republicans, but we will get to that as well. But we are really racking up major accomplishments here for Joe Biden, and it couldn't come as a better time as Democrats are surging in midterm election polls. Tomorrow we will talk about, could this be one of the worst midterms for Republicans after a Democrat takes the White House? The answer is yes, it could be, but we will get to that tomorrow. Reuters reporting, the U.S. Senate Sunday passed a sweeping $430 billion bill intended to fight climate change, lower drug prices, raise some corporate taxes in a major victory for Joe Biden, which Democrats hope will help them in November. After a marathon 27-hour weekend session of debate and Republican efforts to derail the package, the Senate approved the legislation known as the Inflation Reduction Act by a 51-50 party line vote. Vice President Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking ballot. This sends the measure to the House of Representatives for a vote probably Friday. They're expected to pass it, send it to the White House for Joe Biden's signature. The Senate is making history, said an elated Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. To Americans who have lost faith that Congress can do big things, this bill is for you. Schumer says the legislation contains the boldest clean energy package in American history to fight climate change while reducing consumer costs for energy and some medicines. The legislation is aimed at reducing carbon emissions and shifting consumers to green energy, cutting prescription drug costs for the elderly, and tightening enforcement on taxes for corporations and the wealthy. The measure pays for itself and reduces the federal deficit over time. Democrats contend it will help bring down inflation. Economists have, generally speaking, agreed with that. From the Washington Post, Senate approves Inflation Reduction Act, clinching long-delayed health and climate bill. The party line vote marks a major achievement for Democrats after more than a year of wrangling over the centerpiece of President Biden's economic agenda. This is a really, really big deal. And zoom out for a moment and think about the last 2 weeks for Joe Biden, understanding that I am giving you a public analysis, understanding, as you and I have talked about before, that not all of the things I'm about to mention directly relate to Joe Biden. We have essentially full employment right now, more than 500,000 new jobs in the latest jobs report, unemployment down to 3.5%. This is an extraordinary jobs report and unemployment situation by any measure. Ayman al-Zawahiri, major al-Qaeda terrorist, killed. Now, we might say that was illegal. Okay, well, but I'm not disagreeing with that. But from the point of view of the accomplishments Biden can now claim in terms of saying reward Democrats in November, Inflation Reduction Act with major advances in a number of different areas, doing a number of good things. And by the way, expected to push down inflation, which I believe tomorrow we are getting, on Wednesday, we are getting the July inflation numbers. I believe they are going to look much better. And I believe it is going to bump up the market, et cetera. And now, in addition, gas prices coming down about 20%. I mean, again, it's sort of a joke. I don't think Biden had anything to do with them going up nor coming down. But when we say it's the economy, stupid, and people look at certain indicators to determine are things going well or not going well, that's one of the things that they look at. Now, Fox News and right-wing media are calling this bill a social bill, spending spree, as if healthcare is some kind of frivolous pet project or social issue when it's not, like it's going to be for gay marriage or who the hell knows what. Republicans are saying Democrats are going to pay the price for this bill. I don't believe that that's the case, but we will know in under 3 months. Now, one other thing. Diabetics should remember when it's time to vote, and really everybody should remember, that one of the amendments that Republican senators killed was a $35 cap on insulin. Senate Republicans yesterday stripped a proposed $35 a month cap on out-of-pocket spending on insulin for patients enrolled in private insurance. The Senate parliamentarian earlier ruled the provision is not primarily related to the federal budget, so it's not eligible to be passed by 50 votes. They needed 60 votes. Only 7 Republicans voted for it, so the insulin amendment failed by 3 votes. These people are disgusting. They truly are. And we will see in November who this is all good or bad for. Let's just leave it there. One of our sponsors today is Blue Chew, a unique online service delivering the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. And they're giving my audience an entire month's supply for free. So if you think you could benefit from an extra boost of confidence when it's time, all you have to do is take a short quiz on their website. A licensed doctor approves your prescription. The medication comes straight to your home within days in a discreet package. No driving around to the doctor's office or the pharmacy. No waiting around. No awkward conversations with your doctor. All of Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA. The entire process is just a few clicks. Go to bluechew.com. The link is underneath this video. They'll give you an entire month's supply for free when you use the promo code PACMAN. All you have to do is pay $5 shipping.